Oh, we like food. We like talking about it. We love to create it, and we love sharing it. Arrow.net, ARROE.net. Let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 506, Alejandra Ramos, The Great Recipe.
I am so excited for this. I heard you have great energy.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about my favorite subject, which is food. I mean, the Great American Recipe. My God, this is exactly what I want to see.
Guy after my own heart. Yeah, food is the most fun thing to talk about.
You know,
and eat.
I'll tell you what, I never found myself in a kitchen until the lockdown. And now when you've got a show like this, I mean, it's like, oh, this is up my alley. I really want to learn from these other, these home cooks.
Well, what is really great about it is that unlike competitions that feature, like professional chefs and they're cooking restaurant food, these really are home cooks sharing their treasured family recipes. They're cooking what they really make in their own home kitchens. So it's going to inspire folks, and everything is accessible. Everything is something that you can make in your kitchen, and we give you the recipes. We're going to have a cookbook coming out, so we give you everything you need.
See, once again, you're right up my alley, and I love this because what I got hooked on during the lockdown was I would stand there and challenge myself, make a soup, but it has to be something from the pantry that you've never used before, but it's got to taste really, really good.
I love that. I think that's such a great way to kind of encourage, stretch your skills, right? And use up those ingredients. And you're right. Like so many people during lockdown went back to the kitchen because they had to cook, right? We weren't going out to restaurants, we're going to parties and stuff. And so I think it really is just such a cool thing because now people are coming out of it, but they're still cooking and you're still making delicious food at home. And so many people fell in love with the kitchen, and I hope that they'll fall in love with with our contestants and the recipes on our show.
Absolutely. It's an 8-part cooking competition, and what's really neat about this is that they were not going to a culinary school. These are real, honest to God people who are in this competition.
Exactly, yeah. These are just real people. We've got a firefighter, we've got moms, we've got business owners. There was one girl, she's like, I work in a bank. And so what's really great is that it really is food that people cook at home, and that they're really just telling us what they grew up eating, the flavors that they love, and telling us who they are, and consequently what America is, who America is through all these amazing food stories.
Now, you talk about that firefighter. Come on, some of the best food on the planet is at the firehouse. They know how to cook.
They know how to cook, and those are tough judges, right? Actually, Dan, who's our firefighter, he's from Rhode Island, Italian background. His food is just passed down through generations of cooks from Italy. So he made this incredible spicy calamari. He had handmade gnocchi. He was always making homemade pasta, this thing called chicken Sicilian that I dream about. And what's cool is we were like, Dan, are you worried about getting judged by Chef Elliot and Tiffany Derry and Leah Cohen? And he's like, I cook for firefighters. There's nothing you guys can say to me that is going to be more intimidating than what I deal with at the firehouse.
It's fun to go watch the fire department when they arrive at a grocery store, and I do that because they all work together on how they're going to prepare that meal. And it's like, wow, you guys are a team when you're out there fighting the fires, and you're a team in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are people who know how to do, teamwork is so important. And that was always one of my favorite things, too. I used to, before I started doing TV, I used to work next to a firehouse, and so the grocery store that I went to after work was always full of the firefighters shopping, and then had their baskets, and I'm like, what are they making? I would love to go to a restaurant that's just a firehouse restaurant. Except that they might have to leave every so often, right?
you talk about Dan with his roots from the East Coast of the United States. These cooks are from all over the country, and that right away, I know that what we used to eat up in Montana is Montana food. I mean, there's so many different regions you're dealing with here.
Exactly. Well, you nailed it. So we've got 10 cooks from 10 regions around the United States.
Wow.
But one thing to keep in mind is that not only are they just cooking the food from, their state or their city or town, but they're also cooking foods from their personal stories. So, we have chefs with a Vietnamese background, with Italian background, with Mexican background, because sometimes where you live physically isn't where your heart also lives. Mm-hmm. And so we get both parts of that, and we celebrate both parts of that. And and we really just get to enjoy every step of someone's journey through their recipes.
That's so funny you bring that up, because just the other night I was talking with my sister, and we were talking about those old home dishes Mom would make, and it's like we would never really eat that these days, but yet we were hungry for it.
You know what? Exactly. That's like, and I think that so many people can relate to that, where sometimes you just wake up and you're like, I want to eat that thing that my mom used to make, or that what they served at lunch when I was in 5th grade. My mom actually called me the other day and said that she woke up with a craving for like a chicken stew that my grandmother used to make, and so she made it from scratch, like from memory. And it's not something that she would eat all the time, but sometimes you just want, you need that love, that comfort. You need those flavors of home. And I hope rather that when people watch the show, they'll recognize things, right? They'll recognize dishes and flavors, and they'll see themselves represented in our cook.
Well, you're proving that cooking in the kitchen and on the Great American Recipe, it's the Play-Doh of 2022. In other words, we're going in there to play, and there's amazing things that's being cooked up.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, this is a fun show. It's a joyful show. I want people to watch it with their kids and their friends, and we have a hashtag recipe PBS. So, like, if you watch, get on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and talk about it. I love, like, chatting with folks and seeing what's really resonating with them and getting inspired. I love if you've got cool recipes, send them to me. I love learning.
I'll do it. I'm going to send you my soup recipes, because I invented some good stuff. Yeah. Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
I'm going to take you up on that offer, Arrow.
Please do. Please do. Be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you so much. You too.